All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the world of Janhvi Kapoor.
Ooh, fun.
And I gotta say, the title of our main source material is a little provocative.
It is a little spicy, isn't it?
Talentless hack or misunderstood artist, ?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got this great article that really focuses on her career and public image so far.
Right.
And I have a feeling it's going to be an interesting one to unpack for sure.
It will.
So, maybe you've seen her in a film or two.
Yeah.
Maybe you've caught glimpses of her on social media.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the real story behind the starlet?
I think that's what we're all here to find out.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're doing this deep dive.
Exactly.
Let's find out.
Let's do it.
So one thing that really jumps out from this article is that it's really trying to move beyond these kind of simplistic labels that you see out there.
Totally.
And it really dives into Janhvi's journey, not just as an actress, but as someone who's, trying to forge her own path with a legacy like hers,
Absolutely. And it is a big legacy to kind of step out of the shadow of.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't talk about Janhvi without talking about, the Nepo baby debate and all that.
Of course not. That's the big thing right now.
Right. But I think what's cool about this is that we can move beyond that a little bit.
Yeah. And take a look at the choices she's making as an individual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she's still pretty early in her career.
Yeah, very much so.
But she's not just sticking to the tried and true Bollywood path.
No, she's not.
Like, she's branching out. And I think Devara is like the prime example.
Tell me about it.
Starring alongside Junior NTR.
I mean, huge.
Massive. It's a major move, and not just for her Bollywood career, but potentially breaking into the South Indian film industry as well.
For sure. And she learned Tamil for the role.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
That's dedication.
That is dedication.
Oh, right. Or is it all just publicity?
Right.
What else?
Who knows? But that's a big commitment.
I know if someone was like,
I'm not learning another language for a role.
Hey, learn this language for this role, I'd be like, no, thank you.
Best.
I'm good.
But I think it signals an ambition to be more than just a Bollywood star.
Right.
She wants to be a pan-Indian star.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting, I think.
It's a whole other level.
It is a whole other level.
So what do you think is motivating her here?
Well, I think one thing we can't ignore is the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Nepotism.
It's there.
The article doesn't shy away from that. It really, faces it head on.
Yeah.
That Janhvi has faced a ton of criticism for her family connections.
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't sugarcoat it either.
No.
It talks about how she's had to walk this tightrope
Right.
of acknowledging her privilege, but also proving that she's worthy of being in the spotlight.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of that plays into how she responds to this criticism.
I think you're right.
Right. How do we see her kind of responding?
Well, like there was that recent controversy
Yes.
that the article mentioned.
Where her comments about the industry were taken out of context.
Oh, yeah.
And we see how quickly a narrative can be built
Oh, yeah.
on social media.
Especially with social media, it's like wildfire.
It's like wildfire.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see how she handled it.
How did she?
She didn't get defensive,
Okay.
didn't lash out.
Good for her.
She issued a clarification
Okay.
and really used it as an opportunity to own her misstep
Right.
and talk about the responsibility that comes with fame.
It's a good approach.
Yeah, and I think that's something people forget about.
Mostly.
It's easy to look at these star kids and be like, oh, they've got it made.
It's all handed to them.
But they're constantly under this microscope.
I know.
Every move they make is scrutinized.
Yeah.
And the pressure is immense.
It really is.
How they navigate that pressure is a big part of their story.
I think so.
And it seems like Janhvi's really trying to take control of that narrative.
Okay.
She wants to be seen as more than just Sridevi's daughter.
Life.
And that's where I think her spirituality comes into play.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
So that's one of the more surprising elements of the article, I think. Okay. It really emphasizes how open she is about her faith and how she finds solace in these visits to Tirupati.
Interesting. You don't often see that
No.
from celebrities, especially in Bollywood.
Especially in Bollywood, right?
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, is this a genuine aspect of who she is?
Right.
Or is it a calculated move?
To connect with audiences.
To connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, isn't it?
It's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it ties into this larger trend we're seeing
Right.
with celebrities being more open about their mental health practices.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The article mentions her being quite vocal about things like meditation and journaling, which honestly,
Yeah.
that's pretty refreshing to see.
I agree. I think it's great that people are talking about that stuff.
Yeah, and it's like she's saying, hey,
Yeah.
I'm just like you. I struggle with things too.
Yeah, we're all human.
We're all human.
Right.
And that makes her relatable in a way that goes beyond the glitz and the glam of the film industry.
Absolutely. And I think people crave that relatability, don't they?
Definitely.
Yeah. It's more than just relatability, though, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, celebrities talking openly about these things, I feel like it can really help to destigmatize these conversations.
Absolutely.
Especially for younger generations.
Totally.
Who look up to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like a permission slip.
Yeah.
To say, hey.
It's okay.
It's okay to not be okay.
Exactly.
And it's okay to seek help.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Let's shift gears a bit.
All right, let's do it.
Let's talk about Janhvi, the actress.
Okay.
Is there real talent there, or is it all just hype and good looks?
Well, the article really emphasizes that she's putting in the work to be taken seriously as an artist.
Right.
It mentions her intensive cricket training for Mr. and Mrs. Mahi, which is interesting because it shows a dedication to really embodying the character.
Sorry, not just showing up and looking pretty.
Yeah, exactly. Going beyond that surface level.
And then there's Ulaj.
Oh, yes.
Which is described as this really risky project for her.
I mean, a foreign service officer caught up in a conspiracy?
Yeah.
That's pretty far from a typical Bollywood romance.
It is a far cry.
Yeah.
So choosing a role like that, it really suggests that she's intentionally pushing herself outside of her comfort zone.
Yeah, it does.
Which to me signifies someone who's genuinely interested in growing as an actor.
For sure. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So is she making these choices to silence the critics?
Right.
And prove that she's more than just a pretty face?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it a genuine passion for the craft?
That is the question.
The million-dollar question.
It is, isn't it? And I think it's a question that only time will answer.
Yeah.
But what we can say is that she's actively making choices, taking risks, challenging herself.
Right.
And I think that speaks volumes.
It really does.
Okay.
Okay, so we've talked about the acting.
Yeah.
We've talked about the nepotism debate, the spirituality, but we can't ignore the other side of stardom.
What's that?
The fashion.
Oh, yes.
The brand deals.
The whole package.
The whole celebrity package.
Right.
And the article does highlight how Janhvi is killing it on that front.
I mean, it comes with the territory, doesn't it?
It does.
Being a successful actor these days.
Yeah.
It's not just about the roles you play. It's about building the brand.
Yeah.
Creating this multifaceted image that extends beyond the screen.
Absolutely. And it seems like she's very strategic about it.
Yeah.
The article mentions how she's become this fashion icon, landing all these major endorsements. It's like she's building an empire.
She is. She's building an empire.
Alongside her acting career.
Alongside everything else.
Right. But it's not all about personal gain either.
No, tell me about it.
The article also touches upon her involvement in philanthropy.
Right. Following in her mother's footsteps.
Following in her mother's footsteps, exactly.
Yeah.
And she's supporting some really important causes.
Okay, what kinds of things?
Education for underprivileged kids, environmental awareness.
Amazing.
It adds this whole other layer to her public persona.
It does, doesn't it?
Right.
It shows that she's aware of her platform and the influence she has. And she's choosing to use it for good.
Yeah.
Which I think resonates with a lot of people.
It does.
That kind of social responsibility.
Yeah.
So it's like she's trying to build a legacy.
Right.
That goes beyond just the glitz and glam of Bollywood.
Okay, so with all that said.
Yeah.
Let's circle back to that initial question.
Right.
Talentless hack or misunderstood artist?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know.
I think it's way too early to put any labels on Janhvi Kapoor.
Okay.
She's still evolving, still figuring out who she is as an artist, as a person.
Yeah.
And that's what makes her journey so fascinating to watch.
It really is. And I'm genuinely curious to see where she goes from here.
Me too.
The article does mention that she has some really exciting projects lined up.
Yeah. Like what?
Well, Devara, of course.
Yeah.
We've talked about that.
Yeah.
But Ulaj sounds like it could be a real game changer for her.
A thriller. Right? Where she plays a foreign service officer?
Yeah, caught up in this conspiracy.
Oh, wow.
It seems like she's really trying to showcase her range and choose roles that push her boundaries.
That's awesome.
And then there are all these rumors swirling about potential international collaborations.
Interesting.
Imagine if she landed a project with a major Hollywood studio.
Whoa.
That would be huge.
That would be massive.
It would put her on a whole new level.
It would.
Expanding her reach to a global audience.
For sure. It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
It is.
Okay.
She's got the talent.
Yeah.
She's making these strategic career moves.
Uh-huh.
She's using her platform for good.
She seems to be ticking all the boxes.
Yeah. But why do you think there's still so much skepticism surrounding her?
I think it's tough, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, a big part of it is the baggage that comes with being a Nepo baby.
Oh, yeah.
When you come from a famous family, especially in an industry like Bollywood, there's always going to be extra scrutiny.
Yeah, it's like they have to work twice as hard.
Oh, for sure.
To prove they're not just coasting on their family name.
Exactly. And let's be honest, social media doesn't make things any easier.
It really doesn't.
It's so easy to tear people down anonymously online.
Yeah.
And those negative opinions can really overshadow all the positive ones.
They really can.
It's rough.
But what I find admirable is that Janhvi doesn't seem to be letting the negativity get to her.
Right.
She's just putting her head down, focusing on her work.
Letting her performances speak for themselves?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It takes a certain level of confidence and resilience to do that.
It really does.
To just tune out all that noise.
Yeah. And stay focused on your goals.
So speaking of goals, what do you think she's ultimately aiming for?
What kind of legacy does Janhvi Kapoor want to leave behind? I think based on everything we've talked about today, she wants to be more than just a star.
Okay.
She wants to be respected as a true artist.
Yeah.
Someone who takes on challenging roles, tells meaningful stories, and leaves a lasting impact on the industry.
So will she be remembered as Sridevi's daughter?
Right.
Or will she carve out her own unique space in cinematic history?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Only time will tell, I guess.
It really is.
But I think she's on the right path.
Yeah.
To create a legacy all her own.
I agree.
I mean, think about it. She's at a pivotal point in her career right now.
She is.
The choices she makes from this point forward are going to play a huge role in how she's perceived.
Huge.
In the years to come.
For sure.
So what do you think, listener?
Yeah.
Given everything we've unpacked today, what kind of roles do you think Janhvi should take on?
To solidify that legacy.
To solidify her legacy.
Ooh, good question for the listeners.
Should she stick with the big commercial films?
Yeah.
Should she embrace more independent art house projects?
Right.
Should she continue exploring these different regional industries?
Yeah.
Or should she set her sights on Hollywood?
I mean, there are so many possibilities.
I know.
That's what makes Janhvi Kapoor such a captivating figure to follow.
It really does.
Her journey is far from over.
No, it's not.
And it's going to be really exciting to see where it takes her.
Okay, so we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of Janhvi Kapoor.
We have.
And I don't know about you, but I feel like we've uncovered so much more.
Than just the surface.
Than just the surface level stuff.
Yeah.
We went from talentless hack or misunderstood artist to realizing there's so much more to her story.
Absolutely. She's a young woman navigating a challenging industry.
Yeah.
Facing intense scrutiny. Trying to find her own voice.
Yeah.
And she's doing it with grace, determination, and a genuine desire to grow.
It seems like it.
It does.
So to our listener, we say this.
What's that?
Don't let the headlines define Janhvi Kapoor for you.
Good advice.
Check out her work.
See what resonates.
See what resonates with you and form your own opinion.
Yeah.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
You might be.
And keep an eye out for what she does next.
It's going to be good.
This is just the beginning of her journey.
The beginning.
And it's going to be an exciting one to watch.
I think so.
That's it for our deep dive this week.
It's been fun.
We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration.
See ya.